Now that we have carefully analyzed the way in which determiners are fully described, we will apply all this knowledge and integrate it to discuss and solve grammar problems that involve sets with ungrammatical data. To do so, first we will spot the problem and see why that particular sentence is not possible in English. That is, we will try to understand what the problem is linked to according to what we know about word categories. And we will explain what the problem is. To do so, you will need to use the criteria and data available and ask yourselves, why can't it be like this? What does the theory postulate and how different it is from the actual data? We have gathered all the necessary information to use the descriptions on determiners, and we are ready to plunge into this problem-solving activity, determiners, do's and don'ts. Now it is necessary that you carefully analyze each set and spot the problem to be able to explain why it is that we can say those phrases in A but not the ones in B. At this stage, we will recommend that you stop this presentation and work on these sets on your own to later check them against the explanations that follow. The setting 1 shows restrictions on determiner combination. So why is it that 1A is possible? It is possible because the definite determiner the, which assigns specific reference to the MP that it selects as complement, can combine with uncountable nouns, singular countable nouns, but it can also be combined with plural countable nouns, as is the case of the MP flowers, whose head is a noun in the plural form. So, the flowers is a possible combination. On the contrary, 1B is ungrammatical. Why is that? And check this out. Even though your first attempt might be to just state that the correct version is these flowers, because these is a demonstrative determiner that has plural features as well as flowers, of course, apart from its other features, near distance and specific. So, these being plural can select the M flowers head of the MP as complement. But this is not enough. A grammatical description of the phrase is not enough to account for its ungrammaticality. You have to use the theory available to explain the phenomena under analysis. So, why is it that 1B is not possible? The information about the correct version should not distract you to state that this flowers is not possible because this, being a demonstrative determiner with singular features, cannot select an MP whose head is a noun in the plural form, like flowers. In the second set, we will try to see whether determiners can be stacked or not. If we have a look at sentence B, its ungrammaticality indicates that determiners cannot. So, the fact that adjectives such as nice or modern can be stacked in the DP nice modern novels indicates that determiners cannot be part of the word category adjectives and cannot be called either demonstrative or possessive adjectives. Now below we will try and see two different explanations to analyze what it is relevant or accurate to state in a grammar lesson about determiners and their distributional restrictions. The explanation in 1 states the DP in A is okay because nouns can be modified by 2 adjectives at the same time. B is not okay because the right phrase should be either my book or this book. Even though this is okay, and it is true that two adjectives can pre-modify the noun head in a noun phrase, and it is also true that either my book or this book are possible phrases in English, this explanation is not accurate and does not take into account distributional criteria to account for this set. So now let's see the second explanation. This one states that the DP in A shows that nouns can be pre-modified by more than one adjectival phrase. This is so because adjectives are recursive and they can be stacked. B shows that determiners cannot be stacked. Only one determiner head can be found in a DP, otherwise the phrase becomes ungrammatical. So this explanation, the second one, is more specific and is a syntactic explanation that takes into account their distributional properties and their distributional differences to account for the difference between determiners and adjectives. As we have seen, determiners are a separate word category from adjectives. And now, in this set, we will analyze another relevant characteristic that sets adjectives and determiners apart. Determiners cannot take suffixes. The setting 3 shows that as determiners are not adjectives, they cannot take the inflectional suffix "ist" that is possible in adjectives such as happiest. Yet, as we will see, to state just this is not sufficient to describe the set. So now let's plunge into its correct explanation. The phrase in A is a DP, whose head is the definite determiner the. This determiner head assigns specific reference to the noun student, which is the head of the NP happiest students. As you can see, this NP includes the adjective happiest. That is, in turn, the N students is pre-modified by the AP happiest. The head of this AP adjectival phrase is the adjective happiest, which derives from the adjective happy. An inflectional suffix has been added to get the superlative form of this adjective, that is, happy plus est, form happiest. This is typical of other adjectives such as cool, coolest, smart, smartest, among others. On the other hand, in B, the resulting phrase is not possible, and B is ungrammatical because determiners are functional categories, which are invariable. This means that no inflectional affixes can be attached to them. That is why the addition of the superlative affix est to the possessive determiner my results in ungrammaticality. So, it is important to bear in mind that this model answer that we have given you integrates the theory because it discusses all data available and is clear and precise and does not add or explain irrelevant information. To summarize, let's take some key aspects to have in mind. So the first one is that determiners do not select adjectival phrases as complement, only noun phrases. The second one is that determiners do not just precede NPs, they take NPs as complement. And the third one is that determiners are invariable categories, which always carry some kind of grammatical information. So with respect to the first one, the relationship between determiners and adjectival phrases, remember that no matter how close a determiner head and an adjectival phrase are, linear order does not reveal structural hierarchy and the correct relation among words in a phrase or sentence. So if we take into consideration the phrase the happiest students, it is not accurate to say that the determiner the takes the adjectival phrase happiest as complement. This description will not be accurate. In relation to the second one, determiners do not precede MPs. They take MPs as complement. So it is important that you stick to distributional criteria to describe this kind of relationship between determiners and MPs. In the case of the third one, and determiners being invariable, make sure you go over the theory to learn what this information is for each determiner subtype. So for example, there we have specific reference, will indicate possession, and in this case we'll have third person plural features.